I feel like dancing.
We designed so many monsters. The only rule we sort of had was that they had to be cool and they had to be able to wrestle. But we just played around and kind of did take different animals and mush them up.
Are you ready to go out there and look ridiculous tonight?
Yes.
We actually had a war room with monsters on every available surface that we were kind of designing, and me and Christoph and my character designer Max would just sit in this room drawing, scribbling away. There was a point where I opened up monster casting to the whole office. So I had the PAs, the accountants, everyone had to design at least one monster. We had like bizarre slugs. We had rock creatures, tree creatures. Rachel, my script supervisor, came up with tic-tac-toe. It was half tick, well, no, a third tick, a third thumbtack, and a third toe.
What?
I think that was my favorite one we left out. Tried everything, and then we kind of started to narrow it down to a sort of more animalistic world, and we needed monsters that could wrestle, were exciting to watch. We wanted to kind of have a homage to all of the great movie monsters, you know, the kaiju, all of those different genres of monsters we wanted to pay our respects to. Like, Tentacular is a kind of mashup of all of the heels that you know and love.
Come on, come get some of this. Here I am.
When we meet Tentacular, he's actually the hero of the movie, and then he does a heel turn, becomes the bad guy, which is a classic kind of wrestling move.
Good call, Winnie.
We don't need to do this, Mr. Mayor!
And Steve is more of a sad sack at the beginning. He's based on more of my English memories.
I got this.
I have a soft spot for King Gorge, who's the British bulldog. He's a bull and a dog. He's British, and he's kind of based on this boxer that I remember growing up, Chris Eubank. And Chris Eubank actually ended up playing his voice talent.
Bow down to your king.
We wanted our monsters to feel big and feel like monsters. We wanted them to be doing exciting moves, you know, jumping off the top rope and drops and elbow slams and pile drivers. There was a lot to figure out in terms of what moves worked, what felt right. We had the fight choreographers, and then we also had dance choreographers, and we used their reference, and we ended up kind of combining the two. We had these amazing fight choreographers who put together this reel of incredible wrestling moves, and also thinking about our specific monsters. So for Tentacular, one of them strapped pool noodles to his body.
Light 'em up!
And was kind of doing these crazy moves. Another time, just to, you know, Tentacular has all these 6 different tentacles, so they actually had 3 of them using their arms behind each other to pretend to be one character and doing flips and crazy stuff. And the animators used a lot of that as reference.
Really use your footwork.
Just come closer. Come 3, 4.
Mia Michaels is one of the best choreographers there is. I gave her my ideas for, you know, the combination of wrestling and dancing. She just brought in the best dancers in LA, and they did like 3 or 4 days of just constant improvisation. With Steve, you know, he's a bigger, heftier guy, so they made sure it felt like that. And one of the dancers strapped on a tail because we wanted to explore how they could use all of the things that human beings don't have. A lot of it was just kind of coming up with ideas and material and then seeing what worked and what didn't. The animators used that footage as reference and put it into our characters 50 feet, 60 feet tall, so they had to sell that weight and all of that kind of physicality, you know, a human being doesn't have. So it's used as a base, and then they have to kind of embellish it and make it their own.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite part was when I was sitting in a room with, you know, 3 or 4 incredibly talented artists, and we just had paper and pens, and we were scribbling and kind of going, what do you think of this one? The little kid in me was so happy. It was like, yeah, we made it.